السلام عليكم، مرحبا. أنا راح أتحدث في اللغة الإنجليزية، بس حبيت تعرفوا أني أنا بنت البيرة من البيرة الأصل، مولودة بنيويورك، وكتير أنا مبسوط وفخور أن أكون هان مع حملة، ويعطيكم ألف عافية على هذا الفورم، وأهلا وسهلا بالجميع. So my name is Linda Sarsour, and I am an organizer and activist here in the United States of America, and I am unapologetically Palestinian American. And what I came here to tell all of you is that it is important for us who are Palestinian in the diaspora to double down every day on being unapologetically who we are. There are many forces in this world who are working to silence us, to try to malign us, to marginalize our voices. But what I'm so hopeful about, and you have seen this in the United States of America, in Europe, all around the world, is that the call for justice for Palestinians is growing louder and louder. I will tell you that as a visibly Palestinian American activist, as a Muslim American woman in hijab, I have been the target of right-wing attacks. And what I believe that I have experienced, but also what I believe have been the conclusion, is that you can still be vocal for Palestine. You could still be a supporter of the boycott, divestment, sanctions movement. You could still call out for justice and liberation for the Palestinian people. And you can still be mainstream in the United States of America. Yes, we experience threats. Yes, we experience smear campaigns in the media. But what they can't take from us is our dignity as Palestinians. What they can't take from us is the allies that we have built across communities. Black communities in the United States, Latino communities across the United States, Asian American and Pacific Islander communities, other marginalized people who are finally seeing that their liberation is also bound up with the liberation of the Palestinian people. College campuses across the country, if you are students and you are here today, I know it's not easy organizing for Palestine, but what I want you to know that if you look back at any historic moment in time, including in places like the United States of America, there has never been a movement. There has never been progress without students at the front line of organizing. If it was easy to organize for justice, if it was easy to organize for Palestine, everybody would be doing it. And I want to tell you that anytime there's ever been any progress, any winning that has happened in any movement across the world, it has required that we take risks, that we sacrifice. You know, a lot of people ask me, they say, Sister Linda, I've seen you in headlines in the media. I have seen you with the Jewish Defense League, which is a violent organization, come to events that I'm at. I have been threatened. I have had all kinds of experiences. And what I will say to all of you is I'm not afraid, and I will not be silenced, and I will not be intimidated, because there is nothing that I will ever experience as an American Palestinian activist that my Palestinian sisters and brothers have not experienced 1,000-fold in Palestine. So what I do here is nothing in comparison to the sacrifice, the resilience, the persistence, and the resistance that is being led by our Palestinian sisters and brothers. And so I want you to know that in the United States of America, we are using our voices. We are engaging in politics. We are supporting candidates who are standing for the liberation of the Palestinian people. And guess what? We are winning. We are winning races across the country, including just this week, we saw people who are running for office who have claimed solidarity with the Palestinian people winning in elections. We have seen the brilliance of our sister, Congressman Rashida Tlaib. We have seen sisters like Ilhan Omar and Cori Bush and many others who are finally saying, no, I will not be silent. No longer will Palestine become an issue that is going to divide our movement. In fact, many organizations, based on the work that I have done over the last 2 decades, but also work of other Palestinian American activists and other Palestinian solidarity activists, centering the issue of Palestine across our movement. Our sisters and brothers and family at the Movement for Black Lives, which you know, in the United States, we have been centering Black life, centering Black communities, and demanding justice for Black people in America. And the leaders of movements in America, including in the Movement for Black Lives, have said, we stand with you. We are going to incorporate the call for justice and liberation for the Palestinian people. And we are going to ensure that it is part of our platform, that we do not see a separation of freedom for one people, that we got to be all free together. And that's the work. That's the hard work that we have to do, building deep relationships wherever you are in the world, in Europe, whether you are in any country where you live, it is important, and I'm calling on my Palestinian sisters and brothers in the diaspora to build relationships. Our freedom is also going to be in our solidarity. We know that people around the world are in solidarity with the Palestinian people. We see them from Chile to Brazil, to France, to the UK, to the United States. We know that the people are with the Palestinian people. Now what we have to do is build power amongst the people who are already in solidarity so that they can start influencing the governments who continue to aid and abet the state of Israel and the illegal military occupation of the Palestinian people and the siege on Gaza. So for me, it's not just about raising awareness about what's happening in Palestine. I think people know what's happening in Palestine. I think the displacement is clear. The torture is clear. The vilification of the Palestinian people is clear. The chokehold on Gaza is very clear. The indiscriminate attacks on the Palestinian people is clear. What we saw just this week at the funeral of our beloved sister, Shireen Abu Akleh, Allah yarhamha, that was for the whole world to see. There was no justification, and even those who are, to be the most pro-Israel, could not defend the outrageousness that we saw happening at that funeral. And of course, now we know, and we already knew this before, but now even the state of Israel understands that they have a responsibility here because they are the cause of the assassination of our sister Shireen Abu Akleh. And people were outraged all over the world. So I don't know if our work now is just to continue to raise awareness on occupation, awareness on what's happening to the Palestinian people, awareness about the human rights violations committed at the hands of the state of Israel. Now it's time to take that solidarity and build political power. There's a lot of people who criticize my work in politics and my work in organizing voters. And I say to people all the time that I don't have power by myself over military aid to Israel. I don't have power to end military aid to Israel on my own. But what I do know is that if I can organize voters across this country to hold their elected officials accountable, and we are able to continue to build that power and build that political influence, we could then have influence on the policies, most of which are funded by the government of the country that I live in. I want to have that kind of influence. So I'm asking all of you, wherever you live, if your nation is aiding and abetting the state of Israel, I'm imploring you to start building that political power, organizing the people to influence foreign policy as it relates to Palestine. I want you to understand that everything that we do, we are doing in partnership with the Palestinian people there, because I truly believe that liberation will come from the Palestinian people living under occupation. For me, my role and my responsibility as a Palestinian, as a daughter of Palestinians, as a great, great, great granddaughter of Palestinians from the West Bank, my responsibility is to use my platform everywhere that I go and to say Palestine and to ensure people understand our cause, but also to organize power to influence foreign policy on my people. When I travel to Palestine, Palestinians in Palestine tell me all around, anywhere I go, in any village that I go to, they say to me, listen, you're all in the ghurba. You are living in democracies. You have freedom of speech. You are able to organize. What are you doing for the Palestinian people? And I ask all of you, ask yourself that question. What are we doing? And all of us do not have to in any way sacrifice even a small, tiny portion of what our Palestinian sisters and brothers have to sacrifice and risk every day organizing under military occupation. Social media is a very powerful platform, sharing information about what's happening in Palestine, sharing articles, telling stories about what's happening in Palestine. I have used my platform to tell stories about my experiences in Palestine, to tell people about the courage that I've seen of the Palestinian people, especially their young people. And so what I am here to say to all of you is I commit to continue using my voice no matter the consequences. And I will say to people that in the United States of America, the thing that keeps me going, because people say, Sister Linda, how do you keep through all of this, right-wing Zionists, people attack you, they try to block your speaking engagements. How do you continue to forge forward? And I say, I live in a country that has a history of maligning and smearing truth tellers. And I will not ever stop speaking the truth, because my great-great-grandmothers dreamed that one day they would have a great-great-granddaughter who has a high stage where she can profess her love for Palestine. I am a mom and I have 3 children who are now second-generation Palestinian Americans. My children, when asked where they are from, they say Palestine, even though they were born in Brooklyn, New York. We are a kind of people that is so remarkable. And it reminds me of a Mexican proverb that said, they tried to bury us and they did not know we were seeds. And so I want you to know that the Palestinian American community loves Palestine. We are proud to be Palestinian, and we are Palestinian everywhere that we go in the United States of America. And so I encourage you to stay courageous, stay bold, and do not ever change who you are, change your political views, or be less Palestinian because someone tells you that others may be uncomfortable. Assalamu alaikum, ya'tikum alf afiyah. Thank you, Hamla, for all the work that you do. And I hope that people who are here today continue to support the work of Hamla that is doing innovative and creative work and continuing to protect our digital rights so that we can continue to educate people all around the world about what is happening to our beloved Palestinian sisters and brothers. And inshallah, one day we will all meet together in a free Palestine with Jerusalem as its capital.